Now, unless you've been living under a rock, most of you have probably heard of the game Fortnite, but there is a new player in the gaming world that has plenty of parents concerned about its violent and addictive nature, as well as its popularity. It's called Apex Legends, and amazingly, it's captured more than 25 million players in its first week of release. It's incredible. So, should you be concerned? Gamer and presenter Anharad Yeo joins us now, along with cyber safety expert Dr. Christy Goodwin. Good morning to you. All right, we'll go to the gamer first on this one. Anharad, so tell us about this game. How does it work? Is it violent? Is it good?
So Apex Legends is what they call a battle royale game. In this one in particular, you play in squads of 3. You get dropped into a map where there's about 60 other squads, and it's basically last man standing. So you'll battle it out to try and be the last person alive.
So it's Hunger Games.
Yes.
There is violence here.
Yes.
How is it different to Fortnite?
So Fortnite also includes a building element where you can actually build structures and use that as kind of defense and to move across the map. Whereas Apex Legends is a little bit more traditional, just gunplay, with more of a focus on different classes. So there's, you know, your defense guys, your healers, your more zippy attack guys and things like that.
And once you start playing it, is it hard to stop?
I mean, it depends on your personality a little bit. So one of the things that makes these games so compelling is the social element. It's the fact that you play with friends, you bond over it, you're using teamwork and talking to each other. So it is a way of socially hanging out as well, which is part of what drives people to play it even more. And because they're competitive short rounds, people, if they lose, want to have another go so they can win. If they win, they want to have another go because they're on a high. So that part of it can catch people a little bit, but at the same time, because they are short rounds, it also gives you a natural stop point where you can go, I'm done for the night.
Which is a good thing, because getting them to get off the devices is problematic for so many families. So, Christy, what are the issues that parents are raising with you?
Look, parents are definitely worried about the addictive potential. There are many gaming elements built into this that make it, as you suggested, really hard to complete. When our kids are playing this game, they enter something called the state of insufficiency. There's no natural cut-off point. So it's literally, you know, there's another battle that they could have. And because there is built-in social mechanics, they're very closely attached to their peers. There are also cyber safety risks with any multiplayer game, particularly if they're going onto online forums and chat sites and trying to, you know, build up their skills. I think the biggest thing, though, that's worrying parents is the hip pocket, where this is a free game, but it has what we call the freemium model. So there are microtransactions embedded in the game where kids can rack up huge amounts of debt very quickly by buying extra ammunition and weapons and updating their player profile.
And I guess the fundamental issue to all of this is that there are ratings that apply to these games, and they are meant to be for, you know, there's an M, or there's an MA rating, as is the case, which is meant to be for 15 years and older, but parents seem to not be adhering to that.
Absolutely. Many parents are shocked when I do raise the issue that this is actually rated 15 years plus. Anecdotally, I'm hearing many parents say that their primary school kids are already showing an interest in this game. Many kids want to be the first digital pioneer, so they're gravitating away from Fortnite and perhaps trying to gain momentum in this platform first before their peers are there.
Well, lots of people are talking about it. We've asked viewers at home for your views on Apex Legends and whether or not you let your kids play it. Tracy says, I let my boys play, but they also go outside and ride their bikes and scooters as well. It's about balance between screens and physical activity. Tyrell says this game is rated MA 15+. If your kids are under that, you absolutely shouldn't let them play. It is inappropriate. Rob says, yes, I let my kids play. I see absolutely no problem with the game. They love it. And Sean says there's nothing wrong with Apex Legends if parents are letting their young kids play it when it's supposed to be for those 15 and over. That then is the issue. And Anharad, I guess that's sort of the core of it here. You know, it has to be age appropriate. But also from your point of view, a lot of people are saying, well, maybe parents should be playing this game themselves, and rather than passing judgment. Is that something that you would agree with?
I always think that one of the best ways that parents can learn how to interact with their kids and set good boundaries is by playing the games and learning how they work. So, for example, yes, there are microtransactions in this game, but they only apply to cosmetics. They don't actually give you any competitive advantage. So if you know that...
So what if you want to tweak up, you know, pimp your player?
Yeah, if you just want to look cool, that's all it does. So if you have your kid coming to you going, I need this to play the game, you can go, that's not true. Right. It might enhance your enjoyment for sure, but it's not going to change how you play. So yeah, getting involved, knowing how things work. For example, knowing that once you jump into a round, you can't just drop out is really important, so that you can then go, okay, 30 minutes till dinner time, rather than saying you have to come to dinner now.
So being armed with that knowledge. And Christy, what would you say to parents who've got kids coming to them? I mean, my 10-year-old with Fortnite, we don't have that in the house, and he says to me, if you don't let me play it, be ostracised because I won't know what the kids are talking about in the playground. I go, good argument, but it's not going to wash with me. But what would you say to parents who are concerned?
Yes, I also echo the same sentiments. Be involved, show an interest, plan, don't ban the game if your child is of an appropriate age. If they're too young, there are often suitable alternatives. So going to Common Sense Media, you can actually find an age-appropriate alternative if this perhaps isn't suitable for your child. Having firm boundaries around not only how long they play it for, but also around when. You know, playing this game before sleep or before school can hyper-arouse the brain and make concentration or falling asleep near impossible. So firm boundaries, setting up parental controls so you don't have what I call abstinence, where kids are racking up huge bills in in-app purchases, and being firm and consistent with those boundaries and playing with your child. You know, the minute you start to play, it loses some of its social appeal.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, I'll have a game with you, son.
It's not the forbidden fruit.
See, there you go. That's thinking. That's really good. Great to get your insights. But 25 million in the first week, it is definitely a phenomenon. So thank you so much for coming in. There you are, Georgie, some really good tips.
Yeah, really good advice, and hopefully it's been helpful to you at home as well. Still to come this morning.